You're listening to One Bright Star's Life After Loss, a podcast that's focused on the lifelong journey of life after loss, with your hosts Erica Fisher and Alicia Moore. One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast is sponsored by the law firm of Burkholz and Associates. And now, One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast.
Hello, and welcome to One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast. I'm Erica Fisher, Executive Director for One Bright Star.
And Alicia Moore, President of One Bright Star.
And today we have our friend Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, you guys.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. It's beautiful out and
Hot.
I'm not going to complain about the heat because I absolutely hate winter, so I'm fine with hot. Tracy's also on the board of One Bright Star. And she is amazingly talented. She does a lot of our artwork and newsletters and you name it, she can do it. She's very talented. So we're happy to have her here and share her story.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So Tracy, 4.5 years ago, you experienced something that you never in your life thought you would experience. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. It was January of 2017. And my 19-year-old son, Nicholas, I had gotten a call I was with my daughter at the bakery in New Ulm, and I had gotten a call it was actually the donor company. So I had no idea what was going on. And I was sitting in the bakery, and I saw this weird number come up on my cell phone. I let it go to voicemail. And then I listened to it later, and it was just this donor company, and they said, this is very urgent. We need to talk to you about Nick. We need a donor for his eyes, or we'd like to use his cornea and I had no idea what was happening. So that was actually how I found out. That was completely traumatizing. And I'll never forget, there was this woman there. Hi, Heather. And she was like my earth angel. She just came up to me. She was there. I remember her face, and she helped me. And because obviously what happened after that was, I don't know, pretty awful. But she was there, and I'm still friends with her to this day. And we talk, and I see her a lot, and she gives me Christmas gifts every year.
Oh,
and
that's
so she
really
was my
special.
earth angel that day. She helped me out, and so yeah, and after that, it was just, that's when it all started. You know, you don't realize how quickly a life can absolutely change and turn upside down.
I was just going to say, it's like your world just stops.
Yep.
It has
stops.
to be.
Yep, it stops. And everything you knew, everything you did, everything and every way you felt, who you were, everything is just completely changed. And I think it was like I don't know, it had to have been 3 months. I don't remember the first 3 months.
You just go through the motions.
Yeah, and there's so many things that people expect you to do in that first, I think I got like 3 days. Usually most workplaces give you 3 days bereavement.
Okay.
So I got like 3 days off of work. Thankfully, I have a great employer.
Okay.
And I was able to use all my PTO, but 3 days?
No way.
Right.
That's not even enough time to process.
No.
Exactly.
Nope. And there's so many things that you don't realize you have to do, like pay for things, headstones. I mean, everything. There's just, and then all of a sudden people are coming and families coming and you have to plan a funeral and you have to, yeah.
And this whole time, everything has stopped and you're still trying to deal with the fact that
I'm still missing half of me.
Yes.
Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Mm-hmm. Because for a long time, it was just, or pretty much my whole, Nick's whole life, it was just kind of me and Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was my life. And what do you do when you lose half of who you are?
Yes. How old was Nick?
19.
19.
Yep. So he would be 24.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So he was kind of I don't know if you'd say typical, but a typical 19-year-old,
Yeah.
Right.
So he was, a great kid. He had his struggles, but had lots of friends. And he was that kid that was friends with everybody and got them through lots of things. And
that's so amazing.
And he was funny and
And you were close. Obviously,
Super
if it's
close.
just you and Nick for
Yep.
so long, you're very close. Yes.
Yep.
And you said, those first 3 months, it's just like you weren't even able to do anything.
Nope. I don't think I got a bed for even like 2 weeks. But again, like I said, I'm super lucky I had have such great family, friends,
Yes.
employer, everything. Because I don't think when you get into this, okay, now you're a bereaved parent, and the further along you go, you see all these stories, and you're like, oh my God, that would be terrible. They didn't have this, they don't have that, they don't have anyone, they don't, or people are mean, or so I'm super fortunate. Like that, I think that helped me through a lot.
And see, you're amazing to be able to sit here and talk about going through the most horrible ordeal ever, and then being able to say that I was fortunate.
Yeah.
And
Well, and you learn a lot about life and people, because people can be really mean and people can be really great.
yes,
So there's a whole new level of what you learn and how you love and how you feel and how you believe and your tolerance and your acceptance and your, I don't know, how you look at things and your spirituality, and everything just completely changes. You have to figure out how to move on. You don't want to at first. I'll admit, I don't think anybody, I mean, the people that I've met, and I'm so thankful to have met other people
yes.
that are in the same situation as me, because they get it. They understand that, I don't know.
They understand
They understand everything.
Like you
Right.
said, that feeling of maybe not wanting to move on.
Yep.
And then, Tracy, how did you move on?
I think the first thing I can think of that gave me hope was, and I know a lot of people don't believe in this, and not a lot of people, their beliefs don't allow you to believe in this, but I went and I had a meeting. It was a phone meeting with an evidential medium.
Okay.
And I had seen like her posts and stuff. Nick's girlfriend at the time had sent me these poems that she wrote. And they were just beautiful, and they really spoke to me. And so I kind of looked into her a little bit more, and she's just got this wonderful faith, and she believes in God. And it's just this gift that she feels she was given. So I scheduled a reading with her, and it was the most amazing thing I think that ever happened to me. I could say a lot of things about the reading, and, a lot of things that she said that nobody else would know. But the one thing in particular that I remember that kept me going was, and again, this was a phone reading, so she can't see me.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm in my office, and she's telling me all these things, and they're just wonderful, and I'm starting to feel, I feel good. I feel like I'm talking to Nick, And I just look up kind of at the sky, and I mouth the words, I love you, I love you, I love you. And she said, oh, he says I love you too, Mom.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah, and I just,
Wow.
what do you do with that?
Right.
Really, what do you do with that?
You embrace that because, oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
after hearing that, that's when
Yes.
that's when you get this whole different level of spirituality and
Right.
beliefs, and okay, how am I going to move forward with my son in this? He's not here physically, but obviously he's still here.
Yes.
And I've had so many, you just have to, I don't know, have faith, believe.
Right.
There's so many signs that I've gotten, and
So I was going to ask you, there's other signs. There's other times when you felt that Nick is right there.
I remember one time, and this is kind of fun, but it was around his 21st birthday, and we still had Easter candy left over, and we had this Reese's peanut butter cup, and we opened it. We're sitting at the kitchen table, and we opened up this Reese's peanut butter cup, and it's got all these wrappers on it. You know how they just come with each have one wrapper?
Right.
We kept peeling off wrappers on this Reese's peanut butter cup, and there was 21 wrappers on the Reese's peanut butter cup.
No
On his
kidding.
21st birthday.
On his 21st birthday. So it's just, it's pretty random, but you know what? It makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
And if you believe, then you believe. And it's just, and there's so many other things. I kind of actually wish I would have written down a lot of these, but it's just kind of some of those things that
It almost
Keep you
opens
going.
up your heart to
Yep. And you
different.
see,
Yeah.
Yep. You see things differently. You believe differently. You
Yes.
hope differently. You.
I was just going to say that
differently.
hope and yes,
Yep.
I love that you found that.
I do
Yep.
too. That
Yep.
is amazing. I have heard of a few other people talking about feeling them sitting next to them and things like that. And I just think that's awesome because
Yep.
we want them
Yep.
to be with us.
And then sometimes when you don't feel it, and I've heard so many stories from so many other parents like me, and they're just, I've gone to some retreats and stuff, and it's just really amazing to hear these things. And sometimes when I feel like I haven't felt them for a while, or I haven't gotten any signs, you start to just kind of get bummed, or I don't know, whatever. And then I get a message from like a friend or, somebody saying, hey, I had this dream, or hey, this happened, or hey. And then I'm thinking, oh, he was just busy.
Yep. Oh, isn't that neat?
He's just busy.
He was reaching out to people
Yep.
like he did before.
Yep. So it's just super important to find a way to still, we're not going to forget about it. They're
No.
still our kid.
Yeah.
They're still our child. They're still part of our lives. He's still my son. So you have
Absolutely.
to figure out, I don't know, how to move forward and how to keep him.
Well, keep
part-
keep
Alive
him
in your heart.
Yep.
right. And like we talk, One Bright Star is about remembering them.
Yep.
And parents, you don't want someone to forget your child.
Yep.
Can you hear his voice?
Sometimes when I see pictures,
Okay.
I like, that's a tough one because sometimes I feel as time goes on, you feel like certain things fade more,
Okay.
and that's hard.
Yes.
When you like scroll through your camera roll or something like that, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to scroll back so far.
Yes.
To look for pictures because it
Right.
just keeps getting further and further. Yes, I feel like I do. I can kind of,
Yes.
and the things that, my daughter and I do, we know he's there. And
You have some really neat traditions that you do.
Taco pie.
yes, that's
Yes.
right. Well, and that's another thing that, a lot of bereaved parents do. They want to do something in honor of their child or in remembrance. And, some have like pretty great, amazing, extreme things. And I'm just more personal and kind of more intimate. And, for every year on his birthday, Nick loved taco pie. So I just let all his friends know it's birthday's coming up again. Everybody just have a family night. Make taco pie.
We did.
Yeah, make taco pie
Yes.
and hang out with your family and just do that on this day. And that feels good. The first year, I decided to have a big party, which was,
Okay.
let's see, January, February, 3 months in. I decided to have this big party, invite all of his friends, and make taco pie for it was exhausting. So
Oh,
you kind of learn what you can handle and what you can't.
right.
And then you go from there. You just have to, I don't know. So having the family night and just telling people was,
I think that's
lot, yeah.
I think that's really neat. And you talked about how you like to keep it your personal, more intimate. And I think that's special. Not everyone can or maybe wants to have something big and elaborate. And this is what Nick was all about.
Yep.
He was
that's what works.
right.
Yep.
Exactly.
And, you don't really want to celebrate the day of his death, but the day that he died, Nick and I were supposed to go to a scary movie over in Mankato.
Okay.
So every year on that day, family and friends get together and we go over to Mankato and we watch a scary movie. And this year with COVID, it was a little bit different because we got to rent the whole movie theater.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We just rented the whole movie theater and watched a scary
That's
movie,
neat.
and it was really, really fun. So that's another little thing that we do. And again, it's just intimate. It's what feels good.
Right.
It's what makes me feel closest to him and what he would have liked. And
that's what matters.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what it's all about.
My boys and I, we actually watched a scary movie on
Oh,
that
you
day.
d- I remember.
Yeah. And I explained to them, who Nick was and everything and what he meant to you and how this, celebration.
Yep.
And they thought it was pretty cool. They like scary movies and, so they...
And I think it's
It was just a really neat way.
Yep, it's really important. I think more people are talking about grief. And there's so many people that I know, like older people, they just kind of shove it aside, or when somebody dies, that's it. They
Right.
died, but you can't shove aside. I mean, the feelings don't go away. You still love that person. And it's really important to, you know, my daughter will still like write little letters to him. And it's super important to, I feel it's like okay for her to hear me cry. I mean, not all the time, because that would be a lot. But, you know, when she said too, we'll cry together, and then we just kind of
comfort each other.
Turn it around a little bit and be like, okay, what would Nick laugh about right now? And then we end up, you know, we get through the sadness, and then we I just always try to end it, you know, with something a little positive. So we snuggle in, and then I'd go back in my room and cry. But
yes,
that's okay.
But, you know, it's good for her to be able to still show those feelings and know that it's okay to talk about it. And
I definitely.
So,
I agree. You're working through it. And like you said, it's a
and
process.
It's okay. You know, a lot of people don't talk about it, or I don't know.
I just thought of this, Tracy. I know that when we've talked to other parents, they've said that when they would first go out in public and they would see some people, did you have people avoid you?
Yes.
Because they don't know what to say and they just are feeling.
Or you see them get like really nervous.
Yes.
Or over talk, and that's another thing. You just learn a whole different view of tolerance and acceptance. You just have
interesting.
It's not. Yes. And one thing I did when I started going out again, because I would get uncomfortable too. I'm sure these people are uncomfortable, but I was uncomfortable too.
Yes.
I always had a way out. Like, I wouldn't drive with someone. I would drive myself, or be close enough where I could leave and walk away. I mean, you just have to know yourself and what you can deal with.
Yes.
But yes, so there were many of those, and there were many of those that, like my closest friends, they just stayed the same. You know, I mean, obviously they're sympathetic and they grieve along with you, and but they're my constant, like my job. You know, they were so sympathetic and easy to work with, and they just let me ease into everything, and it was a constant. You know, when I went back to work, it was still the same.
Yes.
You know, so that hadn't changed, like the people that you mentioned that do change and don't know. But that's just, again, not understanding and not knowing what to say or how to feel, or so.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know, and when we've talked to Mary Ann Bowe before, and she's always talked about just holding space. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't even need to say anything just to be there.
Yep.
And it sounds like you're saying, you know, that's what your friends did. I mean, you know, the true friends, they're just there. They cry with you. They are grieving. Yep. But they also want to see you smile. Yep. They want to make you smile and laugh.
Yep.
And
it took a long time to go out again, because, you know, and it's nice. Keep asking, you know, keep asking that friend, you know, they're going to say no for a really long time.
And that's okay.
We're like, I'm talking, I don't know, a year.
That's
over a year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
just keep asking, because then one of these times you're just going to all of a sudden be like, okay,
that's great.
You know, and it's just those little baby steps, like, okay, I'm going to do this, or okay, I'm going to dance, or okay, I'm going to laugh. You know, that's all like stuff in the beginning. Like the first time I danced, I cried.
Right.
Like, is it okay to
laugh and have a good time? And yeah. And I know, Tracy, that and you're one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. And you are on my mind often. And when you are on my mind, I like to, I may not call you, because I really am awful at that. But I do text you and I tell you, you know, you're on my mind.
You always tell me you love me.
Yep. You're on my mind and I love you. And because, and Alicia said this so many times, that you give us strength, you give us hope. And that's, I think we all need that, you know, even if we haven't lost a child, but you still give us strength, you give us hope, and And,
you know, one of those things too, you guys, was, you know, coming on the board of One Bright Star. I think it was literally like, it was within the same year, wasn't it? But you guys are all just so amazing. And Alicia, you've got just this wonderful way with words and encouragement.
She does.
You know, like, you had to send me a text right before I came over here too. I'm like, oh my God, you're so sweet. But no, I mean, you've got to find those things that work for you and keep you going. And you guys have been amazing, and this organization is amazing, and everything we do for, I'm glad that we are a resource because what we do is amazing and we all understand, and this is what we want to do, and we're there to help people and listen and understand.
Tracy, you have, and I've said that before, I think you just have brought so much, and you kind of mentioned it when we were visiting right before we started our recording about the journey, and it changes from day to day, and how it's taken you so long because Erica has been asking you for a while.
Yeah, almost
to
3 years, I think.
Yes.
When did we start this? 2
2
years ago?
Yeah,
Yep.
it seems
almost
like
2
longer
years.
just because we lost a year.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But just like a lot of things,
Yep.
you're not ready, and then all of a sudden you feel like you can do it. Like the first time I went back into that bakery, I stood in front of the bakery and I was like, you can do it. Go get a donut because those donuts looked so good. They posted them. I'm like, this is your day.
Awesome. That's
so
great.
I walked into that bakery and I did it. So there's just things.
See, and that's
baby
courage.
steps.
Yep.
That is.
One day at a time, and move forward, move backwards, move,
Find the things that help you.
Yes.
Stick to it. Find the people.
There's so many more things we want to talk about, and I know we're almost out of time, so we definitely would like you to come back and visit about some of the retreats that you've been on and Faith's Lodge, and
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Tracy.
Yep. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Cheers to taco pie.
Cheers to taco pie.
Until next time, this is Erica Fisher
And Alicia Moore.
with One Bright Stars Life After Loss podcast. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast. Life After Loss is a copyrighted production of One Bright Star. One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast is sponsored by the law firm of Burkholtz and Associates. For more information on the lifelong journey after losing a loved one, please visit our website at onebrightstar.org.